Type. See if you got anything on Instagram. Inshallah, once again, a reminder, guys, for any question, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, try your best, guys, to put your name first and last, or initials first and last, your city and your state. Jazakallah khairan. All right, so we got nothing on Instagram. First question from YouTube is coming from Hyderabad, India. Initials MD. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. Mufti, is the following Aqidah statement correct? Allah decreed things in a way that befits Him, in a way we can't imagine, and also in a way He isn't responsible or blameworthy at all for our sins, although He allowed it to happen since He also warned us from the sin and helped us a lot for not falling into the sin. In general, Allah Azza wa Jal, that's correct in general. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, trying out this new light. In general, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us and warned us from disobeying Him and told us not to disobey Him. And at the same time, Allah has decreed everything, created everything, written everything, and He knows everything. And how He made things and created things and mandated things is a manner that suits His greatness and His limitless power and His beauty and His perfection and His justice. Wallahu ta'ala alam. AA from Bronx, New York. Do we recite fatiha while the imam is reciting fatiha also? If the imam is reciting out loud, listen to the imam's recitation. Wallahu alam. RA from Boston, Massachusetts. Is it permissible to walk through rows at the mosque congregation salah since the imam is a sutra? Yes, it is. Abul Hassan, Egypt, Cairo. May Allah preserve you, Sheikh. What does it mean when people say fihi nadar when discussing about the authenticity of a hadith or chain of narrators? Barakallah fiqh. May Allah preserve you, bless you, and all the disciples, all my brothers and sisters in Egypt. You guys are over there sacrificing, struggling, suffering, you for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, giving up comfort and pleasure, money, things in the dunya, here, America, UK. May Allah make you guys firm and allow you guys to get everything that you want from knowledge. Allahumma ameen. Fihi nadar has a general meaning and a specific meaning or usage. The general meaning is that it's a problem. Or it could be used by an imam. فيه نظر يعني يحتاج إلى نظر يحتاج مراجعة. Not so sure at the moment. فيه نظر. Got to look at it again, which definitely isn't a good sign when you got to reinvestigate and check it out again. Another ulama, they may use the term فيه نظر يعني جرح شديد, as that is a great amount of disparaging remarks that have been made against this narrator, but for one reason or another, the imam chooses not to mention those things to avoid backbiting any Muslim, staying away from the Muslim's honor. Even though the ulama of hadith, they considered it lawful and in some cases obligatory to backbite a Muslim and to violate his honor for the sake of preserving the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, preserving the hadiths, the science of al-jarh wa ta'dil, the science of rijal, the science of ruwat. But some ulama, such as Imam Bukhari, they had a very, very, very high level of piety, and they didn't want anyone to be their khasam on the day of judgment. So they would avoid saying anything about any Muslim. So some of them, or Bukhari may say, fihi nadar, sakatu anhu, munkar al-hadith, kada, kada, kada. Whereas other ulama, before, during, and after Imam al-Bukhari, may have taken the rukhsah, or that which they held as an obligation, and clearly disparaged the narrator. Kadhab wa khabith. Yahya ibn Ma'in says, a filthy liar. Dajjalun wa is a horrible habitual liar, pathological liar. Lo kana li Farasun murumhun la'aghzuhu. If I had a horse and a spear, a shield, I will fight him. All right? La yushtaghalu bihi, etc., etc. So the sciences of al-rijal, it's very important for you to learn the theory of jarh wa ta'dil, the theory of ilm al-rijal, and also to have a great deal of reading and practice practically, and reading upon a sheikh or with other students through kutub al-rijal. That way you will learn the general usages of these words and statements. Those are shared, and then certain imams have different istilahat. Bukhari has special wordings. Ahmed has special wordings. Tirmidhi use it specially. Abu Hatim, Ibn Hibban, Fulan, they use it specifically. So you learn the theory of ilm al-rijal, and then you learn the practice of ilm al-rijal. Learn it from your scholars, from the books, from the classes, from your programs in Egypt, and then you spend your hours out of the daytime reading Tahdhib al-Kamal, Mizan al-I'tidal, Ilal ibn Abi Hatim, Thiqat ibn Hibban, Thiqat al-Ijli, Al-Majruhin of ibn Hibban, Tarikh al-Kabir, Tarikh al-Saghir, Ilal al-Saghir, كذا وكذا كذا كذا. تنظير والتطبيق. Right? Wallahu ta'ala alam. Question is coming from AEK, London. What happened to Mufti Q&A channel? It's been a while. The volunteers that were uploading the videos, cutting and slicing the videos, or whatever the case may be, maybe they fell off their horses. Inshallah, it's my fault, my responsibility for not staying on top of them. Maybe something happened. Allahu alam. Let me look and find out what happened exactly. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. UK, Leicester, UK. Is it israf in your dua to ask Allah to make you and your offspring to be with Mahdi and Isa alayhi salam? I wouldn't say it in my dua, and it may be israf or i'tida. Same initials from same city. Any advice on going to Yemen to study with Sheikh Yahya al-Hajuri? No names in the live stream, please. Jazakallahu khairan. For or against? Jazakallahu khairan. My uncle, no initials. Doha, Qatar, initials, name, first and last. Jazakallahu khairan. AA, Bronx, New York. Should I buy a house so the renters can pay the mortgage, even though it's not? To go to the lecture that we just did. If you were at the lecture that we just did, maybe we can answer the question. And if not, guys, that's the whole purpose of the monthly lectures, is we tackle these topics in detail, in depth, without rushing through a class or Q&A, etc. The dalil, the ulama who say it, etc., etc. UZ, San Francisco, California. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What, if any, rights does my father, widow, have over me? What are my obligations to my teenage siblings with his widow? 2. Jazakallahu khairan. What, if any, rights does my father's widow have over me? So it's your father's wife, right? What are my obligations towards my teenage siblings with his widow? Clear. Khair, inshallah. Respect her like your father would respect her. Show her love and affection like your father would show her love and affection. You're her mahram. You can't marry her. Okay? And khalas, yani, give her the love, the respect that your father would give her. Try to give her a gift. See if she needs things, if she needs to go somewhere, so on and so forth. Wallahu alam. As far as those siblings, try to be a role model for them. Try to be a guide for them. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum. Basel, Switzerland. Next question. MA from Ontario, Canada. What if a husband wants to divorce his wife but is scared to break her heart? Seek Allah's help. Heartbreak is a part of life. And if you don't want to break her heart and you kept her, you were patient with her, Inshallah, Allah reward you for trying not to harm a Muslim. Wallahu alam. MD from Jaipur, India. Salam. When decided to combine Maghrib and Isha, then what is the last time women can both be prayed? You make Maghrib and Isha as long as the Isha is in, if that's your intention. MD, Jaipur, India. Assalamu alaikum, Mufti. And loud prayer to recite fatiha behind the imam. Please clarify. Jazakallah khair. We mentioned it already. If I'm not mistaken, when you pray behind the imam in Salat al-Maghrib, the first and second rak'ah, keep silent, listen to the imam's recitation. MD Atib, Hyderabad, India. May Allah bless you with a lot of khair and make your efforts a means of everlasting Jannah for many for his ummah. Ameen. Jazakallah khairan. RA from Boston, Massachusetts. What age should a brother get married at? The Prophet's advice is for young people to get married. So whenever the young brother is ready, he should get married. He doesn't have to have every single thing, all of the money, everything up front. He should be responsible. He should be mature. And if he feels he's ready to make that decision, Bismillah. AA, Bronx, New York. Can two wives live in the same home if there's enough space, or do they have to have separate homes? If they're okay with that, that's fine. As long as they're all right with it. As long as they're okay with it. And as long as the necessary privacy, or in the UK they may say privacy, as long as the necessary respect and boundaries are kept with regards to intimacy or whatever the case may be, khairan. To have two wives that can live in one place with harmony, chemistry, no fighting over the kitchen, the bathroom, this and that, mashallah. That's going to save the husband, for sure, a ton of money, time, effort, energy, distance, etc. But it's not always a good idea. Whoever does that, the women have to be, serious and real and willing to accept that lifestyle. And that's going to be rare. Assalamu alaikum. Doha, Qatar. You have to mention your name in the question or your initials in the question. Jazakallahu khairan. Thank you for understanding. We're in Switzerland. Akhi, barakallahu feek. R.A., Boston, Massachusetts. You guys get it? Initials, R.A. In the question, not your YouTube ID or account name. Then Boston City, Massachusetts State. Yes. It's extremely simple, guys. I feel not that many sisters in my city are really on deen like that and wouldn't agree with marriage. What are your thoughts on this, Sheikh? I disagree. I'm sure there are plenty of sisters in your city that are deening, looking for a husband. Maybe you're looking in the wrong place. BS, my uncle, moving forward. AA, Bronx, what is your definition of a high-value man? I think the word in itself is self-explanatory. Good Muslim brother, strong Muslim brother, good character, works, handsome, smell good, respectful, humble, etc. He has a skill, he has, whatever. He's a good provider, high-value man. MK, Konya, Turkey. Is kufi, cap, sunnah, is it better to wear? I wouldn't necessarily say it's sunnah. I wouldn't say that. I would say it's sunnah to cover the head for a Muslim man. When he's in public, when he prays, no doubt he should cover his head. But the actual kufi itself, cap, I would not say is sunnah. It's more of a cultural thing, which has Islamic foundations to it. Modesty, respect, learned religious men covering their head, so on and so forth. I would say that. But the kufi itself being sunnah, the turban itself isn't sunnah. Sunnah ada, something that the Arabs did before Islam, and Islam acknowledged and allowed, and there are rulings that pertain to the turban. But the actual piece of cloth itself isn't sunnah. Wallahu alam. And yes, it's best to wear. There's no doubt. To be recognized as a Muslim, to be identified as a Muslim, trying to be righteous, trying to strive, trying to be a role model, trying to be modest. No doubt about that. And I can tell you, oftentimes, a kufi or a turban or whatever cap you wear, it can save you from trouble. It can save your life sometime by Allah's permission. Somebody can recognize you, help you out. You never know what situation you could be in. Traveling, you may get hasanat rewards because you're wearing this, because somebody says, hey, where's the masjid? Or is it time to pray? Wallah, in the airport. Countless times, countless trips. You minding your business, drinking tea, waiting for the plane, for the flight to start boarding. Someone walks up and says, when does Ramadan start? Wallahi. So if I didn't have on my kufi, I had on a normal button-up polo shirt, khakis, whatever the case may be, sitting there relaxing, minding my business. Will people know I'm Muslim? They wouldn't have a clue. I was like the average black guy sitting there. They're not going to know I'm Muslim. But because I'm dressed in a certain way, they may ask me a question. They may need advice. They may say, which way is the Qibla? Which way do you pray, etc. When is Ramadan? When is Iftar? So dressing in a certain way, no doubt it can help you out. And unfortunately, we live in a place and a time in which people are trying their best to turn the tide against dressing a certain way. You don't have to dress like this. Arabs dress like that. It's not Sunnah. It's from Persia. This is Saudi tradition. You can wear pants. You can wear tight pants, a tight shirt. You don't have to wear loose garments. The Arabs dress like that. Dress from your people. You shouldn't show off. Your thobe shouldn't be high. This is what we hear from supposed academics and supposed learned, knowledgeable people, supposed sheikhs. They talk like this. All right? What's better for Islam and Muslims? To be distinguished or to just fit in? Allah musta'an. Bronx, New York, TA. If a scholar becomes mainstream, is that a sign of them deviating from the Sunnah? This seems to be a common mentality. Not necessarily. It depends what you mean by mainstream, though. There are levels of mainstream. What you mean by mainstream? Popular, is known worldwide, versus mainstream. Big, extremely popular. The kuffar, this, that, this. It depends. And we all know that a wise man once said, he who must pursue glory may sacrifice honor. He who must pursue glory. I gotta be mainstream. I gotta be popular. I can't have 100 people watching me, 1,000 people watching me. I can't have these puny amount of views. I have to be famous, mainstream, important. I have to go with the governor, the president, city hall, this one, that one. He may, meaning oftentimes, sacrifice his honor and start shaving down his fatwas. You know, you go to the different dessert places, the Korean dessert places, they have shaved milk, right? It's frozen and they shave it. The little milk shavings on top of whatever drink or cake that they have. They start shaving it down, right? You can taste the milk just a little bit before it melts or as it melts. They start trimming it down, washing it down, trying to wiggle in. This isn't obligatory. Oh, this is Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah's Aqidah too. Oh, this is acceptable too. Oh, well, it's your choice, your personal discretion if you want to be that. There's no sin against it. And the next thing you know, the more mainstream, more money, more popular, they go what? Wiggle it, wiggle until they're just totally wiggling. Waliyadu billah. And they're too wiggly. All right? So that's a problem. But under any circumstance, doesn't mean just because you're popular and accepted and loved that you're deviant. It doesn't mean that. La. But I will say this. It is very difficult to remain hardcore, to keep your original values, the true Sunnah values, and to be mainstream, and to be household, and to be extremely popular. And also, I'm going to say this is a part of the answer, very important. How popular can you get with the hardcore Sunnah values without being ran down on by the authorities? Whatever those authorities are, whatever country, whatever name, whatever letters you give, a F, a C, MI, MNIS, whatever it may be, Mabahith, Makhabarat, whatever name it goes, you're pumping the true Islam, the pure Islam, the Sunnah values, identity, the theology of Islam, the recognition of being a proud Muslim, all of Quran, all of Sunnah. and you becoming extremely popular worldwide, and then people not running down on you. Yo, what's up? Did you say this? We need you not to say that. Do you think this? Do you believe this? We need to know what you think, what you believe. Too many people are coming to Islam because of you. Too many people are leaving off sin. Too many people going to the masjid. Too many people are leaving off the brainwash, whatever nonsense Islam that they want it to be. So it's difficult. There's no doubt about that. It's not an easy task, and only a few people can actually do it. Wallahu alam. All right. Moving forward. BS, Minneapolis, Minnesota. My uncle struggles to pray Salah, but he really wants to pray. He just cannot be consistent and goes weeks without praying. What advice would you give him? Jazakallah khairan. Ask Allah for consistency and try his best to take things slowly. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Take things slowly, inshallah, step by step, and build momentum consistently, gradually. And to make a constant amount of dua, or an abundant amount of dua. Name MH from Basel, Switzerland. Can someone clear an ayah that he wrote on the paper? That's fine, inshallah ta'ala. If there's a need with an eraser or whiteout, erasing it, that's fine. That's not considered desecrating the Quran. AB from Doha, Qatar. There are football league matches here. Sometimes players expose their odor. Music is sometimes played in the stadium. Men and women not wearing hijab both coming to watch the match. Would it be halal for me to work there as a volunteer at the ticket counter or maintaining the fans in the gallery? Try your best to get another job if you can. And if that's the only job that you find, then for sure it's better than many other jobs that you could be doing. Of course, there are problems with football matches, just like there are problems with restaurants and casinos and buses and trains and airplanes, airports. Oftentimes a Muslim has no choice. All right? What is the nature of football? Permissible or impermissible? If it's permissible, you selling the ticket is initially lawful. And if there's a problem with playing football itself, then the sheer act of you selling the ticket or participating there or being a volunteer there is problematic. So it's not the worst of things, and it's not necessarily from the best of things, but it depends on your level of knowledge, your level of devotion to Islam, your level of obedience to Islam. The more knowledge you get, the more practice you have, the higher you go up. And Allah knows best. All right, guys, we'll stop here tonight. Jazakumullah khairan. May Allah bless you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.